talked about your team suffering before. Today, how do you sum up what the team have found?
I didn't talk about suffering. I never talked about suffering. We made life very, very difficult for ourselves today. The result is fantastic. We're in the last four. It's amazing, but not happy with the performance.
In what sense?
In every sense. Because again, the commitment is there, but we made life very, very difficult for us in the way we played, how we played. Sloppy, a lot of technical mistakes, not fast enough, not repetitive enough. We were lucky today.
Was that the occasion? Getting to the players?
I don't know, it's
mentality thing?
Oh, nothing. Oh, it's no mentality.
Well, if you're not happy with the players.
This is pure mentality. How can you ask about mentality now? This is pure mentality. It's not about mentality.
No, I mean when the players had the problem, was that the mentality? What was it?
There's no mentality problem. This is pure mentality. This is pure mentality. You can bottle it up and sell it.
Absolutely.
So why is the problem for mentality? It's the quality of our games. That's it. It has nothing to do with mentality.
And what about in terms of the players who came in then? The adjustments you made?
Very good.
Reece James.
Very good.
You backed Reece James a lot throughout your
Reece
career.
James was excellent.
And Reece today.
Morgan Rogers was fantastic today. Ebbs grew into the game. Chad grew into the game. So full credit to them. But overall, we got lucky today.
And it is about the squad, though. You said it would be about the squad.
Yeah, but it's also a bit about quality. We need to play better.
Okay, what about Jude Bellingham and his quality?
Enough said. He does it every single match. World class.
And how do you sum up now what your team need to find if you're not happy today for a semi-final? You are in a World Cup semi-final.
Yeah. We will get better. We will get better. We need to get better. Now it's celebration, and now it's taking it all in. We have 3 days. We need everything. We need better performance.
Well, enjoy it. Well done. Through to a World Cup semi-final. What got you there today?
Character, perseverance. Even when things weren't working, we found a way to win the game again. Whether it's in 90, 120, we'll get everything we've got. You saw that there. Whoever was ready to come on came on and smashed it. So so proud of this team once again in a World Cup semi-final.
Was it a victory in many senses for the squad, for the depth?
Definitely, it was a victory for everyone. I keep saying it. This is whole country wins. Everyone who's behind us, all the players that are here, staff. Credit to everyone. It's a huge shift by everyone.
You've scored great goals for England, but that tap-in from a couple of yards, does it feel as good as any in its way?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's an important goal. It's put us through to the semi-final. It has to be right up there.
Morgan had the shot. Morgan took that shot.
Yeah. I told him to keep going because I knew he was going to make an impact in the game, and I've scored loads of those kind of goals. To be fair, the keeper had a worldie, but he was unlucky with that one, the way it popped up, and I was just lucky to be there to put it in.
And those players new to this, Elliot Anderson today, Dan Burn, Jed Spence, new to this stage, if you like. How do you sum up what they contributed?
Warriors didn't look like they were new to it. All three of them and whoever else came on, just top level. Well, there's one thing to have quality, which all the lads in this group do, but you don't know how much mentality and how much heart they've got until we're in a situation like that, and they've shown themselves.
Thank you. The manager's actually not very happy. He said he was disappointed with the performance. There could have been more in many different ways.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, I think he obviously believes there could be more from the team.
Yeah, it's difficult out there. It's difficult. It's a tough shift. All the players have put in a very tough shift. So my thoughts and appreciation goes to the players who's out there who put in a great shift yet again.
Look around at these fans. 60 years of hurt. You're on your way to your first World Cup semi-final. Does this feel like the year?
Game by game. Next is Argentina or Switzerland. We approach it with the same mentality as we approached all these games, and we'll see what can happen. Well done. Thank you very much.
Confirmation, we have 3 semi-finalists. France, Spain, they will play Tuesday on Fox at 3 p.m. Eastern, our coverage, and England will play either Argentina or Switzerland. That game is next. So Jude Bellingham, a player born and bred at Birmingham City, a club who retired his shirt when he left them aged 17, and again today you can see why. Back home in London at Box Park, this was the moment. It's well after midnight. They don't care. The beer's in the air. England are through. Thomas Tuchel, the England manager, clearly not happy, says they got lucky today, animated. Your reaction to that interview, Thierry?
I didn't understand the questions. The guy is telling you actually that it was all effort and mentality, and you're asking about the mentality. He was talking about the technical aspect of the game. He wasn't happy with how the players were playing. I think he wasn't happy with Madueke. He wasn't happy with the speed. He wasn't happy about it. That's why he changed stuff straight away. You don't even need to ask that question. If he's changing stuff, it's because he's not happy with what's on the field. And what we cannot doubt with this team is the mentality that they have and the grit. So no, I didn't understand the question, and I wanted to say something about Tuchel. Because I have that body, out of the body experience when I'm in England. You guys were talking a lot about the guys that were not here. I think we should talk about this team.
Okay.
Not about the guys that were not selected. You believe in him now?
Always have done.
Oh, okay. That's what you need to do, because he's a good coach and he's doing a good job.
We're going to talk more about the England players and Thomas Tuchel in just a second. But if you're just joining us late, what a story here in Miami. What a game when 120 minutes. Erling Haaland, Harry Kane, that's what everybody was talking about going into this game, Alexi. But there was a hell of a lot more than just those two.
It was like days ago, but this is the first half. And Sheldon from way downtown, my goodness, he just looks up and says, I'm going to unleash this with my left foot. Yeah, we all see you there. After that hydration break, Norway came back and was a completely different team. They put this one in and you say, all right, game on. Carry that man around. All right, we want some more. Okay, 2v1. This is it. Possibly go up 2-0. I know T's going to talk a little bit more about this here. Sorla says, I'm going to take it. Well, he's going to just go for a walkabout here, and ultimately it fizzles out, but a huge, huge loss to opportunity.
And then we get the England goal here. They said touch a cable. I have hard to believe that, but Gordon gets the ball on the side, gives a good ball to Jude Bellingham, brings it with him. Amazing game today, and this was his first goal. Happy equalizer, gave another belief to England after losing 1-0, and David is happy, and he is also happy, Jude. And Newland is complaining for a cable that we don't know if it touched or not. Let's see here. We have the VAR here, but the VAR says it didn't touch. So let's go, continue. And then we have a goal here from Norway. Little fumble in the area. Good save there and goal. Everybody thinks it's a goal, but the VAR says Haaland pushes the English player, and the referee said final decision, no goal.
A lot of pushing.
A lot of pushing.
Yeah, a lot. And then we were all here looking at this and thinking that was going to go in for Mayet. Rebecca was holding her breath, but then ball was saved after. It was a lot chaotic after, but look at how they put their body on the line, making sure that they were not going to score here. No way. And then, like I said, who wants it the most? It's not so much about tactic at one point. When you're tired like that, your awareness, legs, Stu Alden was talking about the mentality aspect. Do you still have oxygen that goes through your brain? He's aware. Jude Bellingham, he's aware that's nothing to do with tactic, with nothing. That's mentality. That's what we were talking about, and the coach was wanting. He wants it. And he appears, he scores. Boom. How you say? Bam.
Bam.
There you go, Jude Bellingham. Take a bow. Well done, son. Well done.
And England wanted to kick on here. Spence gets away. Foul in the box. Possible penalty? No, it is a penalty. He's calling a penalty, but hold on. Wait a second. See. Nope. You put your leg in front of Bob. Yeah. Referee told you exactly what was happening there. Now, this is strange. There's no way that man right there, given who he is, given what he has done, is leaving the field on his own accord. But he knows something is wrong. We'll figure it out.
And right at the end,
Jed Spence nearly scored a goal, but he didn't come. Bukayo Saka comes to the rescue. England comes to the rescue. And I have to say that was a weird one for me to see Allen leaving the field. You put Allen and Larsen at the end and you hope for the best. It was a weird one, but the big man accepted it. That's what it's all about sometimes.
Great friends as well, aren't they? Borussia Dortmund former teammates Jude Bellingham and Erling Haaland. That is the final score. England have beaten Norway by 2-1. I think that interview that Thomas Tuchel has just done with Gabriel Clark from English television is going to make a lot of headlines. Zlatan, you were watching it, you were listening to Thierry's reaction. He talked about mentality. He also said they were lucky he's not happy with the performance. Your reaction?
I said before the game, the team hasn't performed, they haven't played the best game they can play. They haven't performed the best way they can, but they have been showing fighting spirit. They showed it against Mexico with one guy less. They showed it today. They showed it in the other games where they were losing the games during the game. And the way you come back is mentality. They haven't been the best. And Tuchel said already in the beginning, we're going to get better and better. So he sees it himself. And he's not afraid to answer the question because he has personality and character. Not many coaches does that. So props to him, and he did good because he said exactly the truth and how it is. Because sometimes they don't want to see the real picture of what's happening on the pitch. But he gave direct answer, and they should follow and listen because the coach is world class, and he's not afraid. He's not afraid. He didn't pick up stars to the team for the World Cup if they are stars. He picked a collective team to do it together. And they show it every game, they do it as a team. Then obviously you have Jude, you have Kane. If it's not Kane, it's Jude. They have been doing amazing stuff. But the other ones, they have been showing fighting spirit. You saw in the end when the defender won a header. Oh my God, he didn't care about the guy who was laying down. He went to the fence and he was celebrating. That's fighting spirit, that's hard.
It looks like an England team that now reflects its manager, doesn't it, with the grit?
Yes, this was still a German-esque type of response from him, but as we've said all along, maybe that is what the missing ingredient is for this team. I don't think he meant to downplay the spirit or the mentality. We can throw any word out there, and everybody kind of has different definitions for the words. But I think in that moment, he wanted to remind everybody that there's still a lot of work to be done. And in essence, to get back on top of that hill, they still haven't done anything. Now, I'm sure he will go back and he will look at different moments and he will praise different players in different ways. But I think he recognizes that if they're going to play 2 more games, let alone win 2 more games, they're going to need to be much, much better individually and collectively.
And the coach is not afraid. He made 2 changes in halftime. I would change Maduka after 20 minutes. But he did it in halftime and the team became better. So he sees the things. So it's not that he doesn't know.
You've talked about Bellingham, we've talked about Kane. There were good performances, weren't there, from England all over the field and the substitutes coming on. Who would you pick out, Thierry, as well as Kane and Bellingham in that game?
Thomas Tuchel. They took Declan Rice also off. Nobody does that usually. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's the thing. I don't know what happened.
He was sick during the week, I think, as well.
Something that's very, very important. And he does that. And what I like about him, he answers straight. He does. He's not happy with the performance of his team. That's his right. But to question the mentality of that team, and I have to say something. It does. I'm not English, but I could relate to the fighting spirit, and that's very much so how you guys are. You fight no matter what. And living in England, a lot of people were always complaining that they couldn't relate to the team. Well, if you don't relate to that team and the way they play and the way they go about it, I hope, hopefully for you, technical aspect of the game will come. But the fighting spirit is back. The one that I know for a very long time since I live in England. I can see the fans are happy to see this team fight at least and not giving up.
Thomas Tuchel can rain on the parade, and that's strategic. You, everybody else, absolutely sing. Absolutely celebrate this win because you're moving on to the semifinal. With some understanding, you have to improve. And according to Thomas Tuchel, they will improve. But this is a night for celebration. They ultimately made it through against this team, and we should say goodbye to Norway, but you have brought things on and off the field that we will never forget.
Thank you, Norway. Thank you.
Yes, I want to give credit also to Norway. They had fun. They did things nobody expected. They made history, and they showed the whole world how to row a boat.
That's true. They certainly did.
Norway.
And the United States has fallen in love with Erling Haaland.
Haaland has been amazing also.
Yeah.
Haaland has been amazing.
These are brilliant interviews, straight from the heart. There's nothing media trained about these interviews. That's absolutely brilliant. When you're a player, do you think, yeah, I know we didn't play very well, but that's for tomorrow. You know, we're just celebrating a win.
I think that, he probably was a little bit surprised to hear that because, again, we're dealing with a manager that is very straight, right in your face, says what he says. We're not used to hearing that. We're not used to hearing that as England fans and England players. But again, a player like Jude, we know what he's about. He's given everything, and he's thinking that, you know, the manager said something like that, he doesn't appreciate maybe what they've given.
I love both interviews.
Yeah,
honestly, I thought Thomas Tuchel's was fantastic. I think Jude Bellingham's response is absolutely brilliant.
And they're emotional. Straight after the game, the timing for the interviews, listen, I'm sure it'll settle down the next few hours. But the manager's been honest, and the players been honest.
I'm not sure that's set up. People are now trying to put a light of fire under that now.
No. I think they will know. I think people at home will anticipate that Argentina will win, let's be honest, and they'll be going, right, if England are to beat Argentina, they'll need to play, I don't know, 20, 30, 40% better.
But maybe they haven't. I'm a bit worried. We keep saying about England, they've got to play better, they can do better. Maybe they can't. Maybe this is the best England can do. And when you're doing that, but you're getting over the line, then you deserve credit for that. But I'm not sure they can get much better than this. Because we keep saying it, the few games we could pick holes in them, but what we do say is they've got a couple of world-class players who keep getting them out of trouble. And maybe that would be enough for them. Who knows? Maybe there's not many.
So you wouldn't worry about necessarily feeling we have to play better?
I think they do if they're going to play Argentina, maybe France or Spain. I do think they have to play better to beat them. But why are we suggesting they can get better? Maybe this is the best of England.
There's no way we can.
I don't know.
I know it's against Norway.
How many times have we said that?
I know, Roy, but I think that we've got players who can perform better than that, and that's what I think Thomas Tuchel is trying to say there, Gary.
I know what he's saying, right? I know what he's saying, but can it happen, if you know what I mean?
We've not looked at collective unit, to be fair, during the whole tournament from a point of view of sort of like knitting combinations together and rhythm of passing and possession. What we have looked like, we've got an exceptional individual or two in Bellingham and Kane. And by the way, what you've just seen there in those two interviews are massive egos. You only get that when you've got world-class players and world-class managers, because you need to be exceptional to do what those two have just done. And it's brilliant that England have got those two.
And to challenge each other. You need a player to challenge the players to challenge the manager, and the managers come back at the players. I think that's good. I think that bit of tension's good for the camp.
Does it remind you of anyone?
But in all seriousness, that's how you got better. You played in a great team. Is that how you get better? That you might sit there after a game at Old Trafford, you won 2-1, I don't know, against Leicester, with respect to Leicester, and you go, that wasn't good enough. We need to be better than that. Good players, is that what happened?
Yeah, the good players in the good dressing rooms know that anyway. Yeah. You will know that you have to enjoy the victories. Of course, in England will enjoy it, and the players deserve huge credit. But when the manager's getting that message across to you, the players will know that. And I think Jude just after the game, he's a bit spiky after the game, but he'll understand what the manager's
does get you going, to be honest, Gal. Sorry, Gal. I remember George Graham, even when we won, he'd come in and he would just hammer everyone. He'd hammer everyone, but the next game you do better.
Mark, as a player with England in 5 tournaments, I never saw that type of angst other than Terry Venables and Paul Ince. I mentioned it to you the other day about 2 massive characters, and they both went for each other, I think, at the half-time in a game in the quarter-final of European Championships. I never saw that after that. We never had a manager who challenged the players, and we never had players who challenged the manager. It's always a bit nicey-nicey. What we've just seen there is very good for England.
Yep, and what we've seen the last 3 World Cups, a semi-final, a quarter-final, now a semi-final. And respectfully for your teams, that didn't happen, that level of consistency. No. Hey, no one's being naive. There is one more massive step to go.
Yes.
Rebecca Lowe, Thierry Henry, Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Alexi Lalas 1-1, beautifully in the balance, a match and a match-up between 2 of the best strikers on the planet. Alexi gets us started.
Well, lots of possession for England, one-way traffic, and would be kind of the first quarter, if you will, of the game, but they couldn't find anything. Harry Kane from downtown Miami, and
Kane
changed a little bit.
Kane, if you drop Kane, make sure you don't lose this ball. Norway wins the ball. Odegaard gives it to Shelderup. Look at this one here. You're going to see a beautiful cross. Bam! Goal. That is a cross and not a shot. But became a beautiful cross and a goal. So why not?
They wanted a foul in the build-up. What do you think, Zlatan?
It's not a foul. This is not a free kick. When you drop there, you cannot lose the ball. This is what happens. You get punished.
So that was 1-0 on 36, Thierry.
Then Rebecca, Jude came to the rescue. Anthony Gordon gives the ball inside. Jude Bellingham took the position of Harry Kane. This is why they have that understanding. When Harry Kane drops, Jude goes higher. And that's what happens. What a finish. He falls down to make sure that the ball was going to stay on target. 1-1, but one thing shocked me. Solo, when you go in the 2v1, give the ball. If you give the ball to Allen, he changes the game. You let a team breathe like England, they will punish you. You have a 2v1. It was an easy 2v1. I know Stu Alden said that Johnston defended well. That wasn't a great play from the forward. Go back on your left foot, give the ball to Allen, and let him finish. Now it's 1-1.
Zlatan, the hydration break changed everything.
But yeah, it changed a little bit because Jude Bellingham has been the most active player in England. But I think they play with one player less so far. Madueke has been on the pitch. I have to say, every time he gets the ball, he makes the wrong decision. And he's walking on the pitch.
Would you make a change, bring on Saka second half?
If I'm Tuchel, I change him. Because he has done nothing in this first 45. Even the break in hydration didn't help him. And he didn't play so much in this. I mean, he played, but he didn't start every game.
Yeah.
So they play with one guy less.
Yeah, whatever they were hydrating, give me some of that, because it was a completely different Norway after that hydration break, except Jude Bellingham said, not on my watch. Huge momentum shift right at the end of that half, but definitely they're going to have to do changes on that right-hand side for Madueke. He wasn't doing anything. On the left-hand side, Gordon started to get into it. At least he was forcing the issue at times, and it's difficult when a team pulls back like Norway did.
Equalising just before half-time. Sheffield enjoyed that. Then Kane had a disallowed goal. Boy, it didn't change with the hydration break. It changes in the 33rd minute when John Stones gets his pocket picked by Berg.
Yeah, we've seen the best and worst of England there today in that first half. They got sloppy, lost concentration. They gave Norway a bit of encouragement by being sloppy, giving the ball away. Again, you look at Stones. Maybe he's not obviously trying to get up to speed, and even his receiving skills there. Why he's even taking with his back to play? There's plenty of players there, and then he's in trouble. And Berg obviously nicks it off and can probably do better with a softer touch, because I think he knows he's going to win it. I think he actually can do better and actually win it completely then. And all this did was the momentum changed, and Norway were on the front foot, and after this England never quite recovered. I think he could actually do better than that.
It's extraordinary how, because they were nowhere, Norway, Gary, that one shift in momentum.
Look, John Stones has played 8 games in the last 7 months, Mark, and sometimes the game just comes on top here. Yeah. Harry Kane wants a free kick. It's not a free kick. No. Absolutely not. And look, what I must say is from this point, England in the previous 2 or 3 minutes from that John Stones era, they really struggled. I think Norway had 26 passes, we had 1. Jordan Pickford's not going to want to see that go in the back of his net.
Gary. It's unfortunate, but it is a cross.
It's a cross, but the goalkeeper has to save it. I mean, that can't go in your net from there. Just simple as that. Does he pull his hand away?
I think he thinks it's going up. He's going wide, Gal. I feel you've got to put your hand on that. You know, you can't take your hand away.
But doesn't the freak nature of it slightly let Pickford off the hook a bit, that a taller goalkeeper would save that?
Maybe, yeah, well, absolutely, a taller keeper would save it. But I think that if a ball's coming in your vicinity and you've got the opportunity to touch it, I think you do touch it, because he's got his angles wrong if he feels that he's got to take his hand away from that. So obviously people are going to always say about the size of him, but like, you know, it's a poor one.
The goalkeepers union would probably defend him a little bit, but he'd be disappointed with that. He's setting high standards. He's got to do better.
England were really rattled, weren't they? And they just needed a moment where they calmed down and regrouped, and they did, to be fair.
Well, we mentioned the right back for Norway, and we mentioned Anthony Gordon. That's where England's main threat is, and I'll hand over to Wrighty for the finish, because Jude Bellingham, you are an absolute star. But this pass from Anthony Gordon, when you play from wide areas, either as a fullback as a winger, that pass in, you're in business.
It's just the touches there, Cougs. It's the touch, because obviously when he gets this on the edge of the box, the defender's very worried about his touch, and is he going to get the touch? If he touches him, is he going to go down? But that touch there, that one, it's just the touches are keeping him away so as he could get his shot off. It's
what all talking players, he's in control of the situation. The pass is fantastic. His first touch with his right foot and then getting away and finishing with his left. Brilliant. Listen, I can be critical of the Norwegian defenders here, but it's a bit of brilliance.
Fantastic.
And they've got, right in half-time, momentum now is back with England. They can't slacken off now.
Yes.
11 of the 12 goals England have scored are from Kane and Bellingham. That's just a fact. You might say they need to share it around a little bit. Sorloth could have played Haaland in at 1-0. I wonder whether you might say a midfielder would have played him in, but a striker's thinking it might be my goal.
He's got to square it, hasn't he? I mean, what is he doing? I mean, look, this is the period in the game where they've just scored. We're a little bit all at sea. We've lost our heads. And he has this opportunity.
This is unbelievable.
I mean, what I'm saying to you is that it's him, and he's got the best striker in the world there free. And he decides to do that. And fortunately for us,
they'll pay for that. You can't give up them opportunities.
That could be the turning point. You never know. 1-1 at half-time.
Well, Anthony scored at the perfect time. How do you reflect on the half and now what you need in the second half?
I feel like the environment, the climate impacted the first 20-25 minutes. Although we had total control and dominance in the game, it diluted our edge, our offensive power. Then from the water break, we had far too many ball losses. We invited Norway into the counter-attacks. They came into the game where they were almost dormant until that point, and then they have the Haaland warning chance and then score with maybe an undeserved wonder shot, I would say. But then, of course, we get the important goal ourselves right before the half-time. So I feel like it released the stadium, it released our lads, and now it's all to play for in the second half.
Thank you. Good luck.